Good morning on what is at the time of this recording a very chilly autumn Friday morning. I'm coming to you today from our church library, one that is greatly resourced and yet in many ways quite significantly underutilized. You can find here books related to history, to stress management, to commentary on the scriptures, to Christian worship, and the list goes on and on and on. If you are an active or interested reader, do consider popping into the church office and making use of this wonderful facility. We find ourselves at a time of year where days are not only getting shorter and temperatures beginning to dip, but regrettably so, where the number of new COVID infections seems to be on the rise again. And it is with this in mind that I'd like to make an attached appeal. For the last 2 years, this community, this congregation really has been so diligent in observing the protocols, in keeping within the framework of the regulations, and at points even going above and beyond that in order to protect one another, to keep one another safe. I think it's fair to say that many of us feel tired. We're tired of wearing masks. We're tired of sanitizing. We're tired of being mindful of how close or far away we are from one another. And yet we find ourselves once again in a situation where these things need to be right at the forefront of our minds as we gather together in this public space for worship. And so I urge you, please do be conscientious. Sit where you are not a family member with someone, sit a meter apart. Masks must be worn at all times during worship, even during singing. And please do sanitize as you enter and as you leave the sanctuary. These things again with the well-being of each and all of us in mind. And then to share with you some particularly sad news. After being in the employ of the church for just under 4 years, our director of music, William Earl, has decided to move on to a new chapter in his own life and career. This is something that came rather unexpectedly, something that leaves us with a great sense of sadness to lose out on the tremendous value and beauty that he has added to the ministry of this church. And we wish William well, trusting that what lies ahead of him will be bright and that he will continue to make a great success of the talents that he has been given and that he continues to nurture. This leaves us in an in-between stage where we'll be making use of a number of different musicians as we seek ultimately to fill the vacancy that has been left there. And lastly, to say, and hopefully by way of reassurance, that the team that has been tasked by Session to lead us as a congregation through this time of transition has been working tirelessly in the background. There are a couple of updates to make you aware of, and these will follow in a week's time in next Friday's newsletter. Wherever this may find you, at home, at work, in the province, in the country, across the globe, may the peace of the risen Lord Jesus Christ be with you.